Like a lot of girls, I was pretty feisty. I was a tomboy. I climbed the trees and I wrestled. And then suddenly you were supposed to have boyfriends and you had to be a certain way. You had to be popular and you had to be thin and you had to be what they wanted you to be. That became a very difficult time in my life. Partly I was suffering for the loss of that wonderful, strong, brave girl that I had been. I was mourning the loss of her. And so I slept a lot and didn't know what to do with myself, and I was floundering. My father called me frivolous and lazy. He didn't realize that I was suffering. Starving myself, anorexic, bulimic, etc. and so forth, I'll be perfect. I was on this toxic quest for perfection, and it is toxic. I should have known better because I saw lots of women who weren't perfect, who were beloved. One very fun story that happened to me, I must have been about 16. My father was married to an Italian woman, and she was a bit of a jet setter, and we were in the south of France. We rented a house on the Mediterranean, and all kinds of famous people would come and spend the day, including Jackie Kennedy and Elsa Maxwell and all kinds of fancy people. And one day, Greta Garbo came to lunch and looked at me and said, "Would you like to come swimming with me?" Well, first of all, none of the people that ever came there ever noticed me or looked at me or countenanced me, much less went swimming. Nobody went swimming. They were too worried about their hair or whatever. And I was so, yes, I want to go swimming with you. And she disappeared and came out in a bathrobe with one of those serious white rubber shower caps on, those swimming caps on. And we walked down the stairs and got to the bottom, and she dropped her bathrobe. And she was naked. And she wasn't perfect. She was an athlete. She was muscular. She was sturdy. And it made me so happy that she was just a good, healthy body. And she dove right into the cold water. I put my toe in. I was so ashamed. It took me so long to get into the water. I remember on the way, I was swimming out and she was coming back, and we kind of met, bobbing in the water, and she looked at me right in the eye and she said, "Do you want to be an actress?" And I said, "No." She said, "Well, you're pretty enough." And I think I swallowed about a ton of water. I was so shocked. And I think I had a Cheshire grin on my face for the rest of the day. It was a great experience. And of course, my more mature, smarter part of my brain knew there were a lot of very beloved, wonderful, fabulous women in the world who weren't perfect and who were loved. But it took me a long, long time to realize we are not meant to be perfect. We're meant to be whole.